My name is Bala Amarasekaran. I'm the founder and program director of Tacugama Chimpanzee Sanctuary. Been running this place for nearly 24 years now, and the reason this place is set up is mainly because the chimpanzees were in peril. There's a lot of illegal exports have been going on for a long time. And when you really look at what are the main threats to chimpanzees, number one is the habitat destruction all across the country. If you look at all our forests, whether it is national parks or protected areas or community forests, lots of them are being lost, sometimes for agricultural activities, sometimes people are actually hunting them for bushmeat, and sometimes even to capture infants for entertainment industry or pet trade or things like that. But number one cause is the habitat destruction. I think as we all go up the economic ladder, I think there's a lot of competition between humans and wildlife. We are competing for the same space, but we are going ahead destroying most of it because we feel it's our right. We come first than anything else. So some of us decided that's not fair. We need to do something for this species. Especially chimpanzees are endangered very high. They've been very recently, the western chimpanzee has been elevated to a very high level as a highly threatened species. That means we must give protection to this species. That is how Tacugama was set up. Now coming back to problems very close to us, on the August 15th we had this landslide and the mudslide around the Regent area. This is one of the areas we patrol and we work in this area. We've been working in this area for a long time. The landslide, not only it happened here, even around Tacugama we had 3-4 places where there was a slip during the same time. We've been coordinating with Ministry of Agriculture, Forestry, National Protected Area Authority, Office of National Security. We've been trying to talk to them about these issues. The landslide itself, it's an area I'm very familiar with. We've been doing a lot of work around that area, sensitizing people, even trying to stop people climbing up the hill. The charcoal problem, if anything, around that area would be very minimal, but I think the major problem in that area was land grabbing. This is people, humans, greed, have no respect to law. They've been just climbing up the hill, destroying everything. And as you know, that area hasn't got infrastructure. There is no road structure. People just went in there with a pickaxe and shovel looking for land. So every single house built there was no system in place to even deliver building material there. So everything came from there. That means one of the basic commodities you want to put up a structure is the granite stone aggregate comes from there. So that means what people did was basically they started mining on those slopes. They've been digging out rocks out and breaking them, granite them, and that's what they use for concreting. This has been going on for a long time. And if you look at a slope like this, even before you start building, you need to create a level ground before you can start anything. So what people did was, when you have a slope like that, you dig in and create a flat area before you can start. But then you try to multiply that in 200 places, so you're basically poking into the hill in every angle. And that's been going on for many years, and we've been warning about this. And the other thing is, when you want to break the stone, we don't have machinery to break it. It's all hand broken. How do you break it? You get the stone out from the hill, then you burn it overnight. Then in the morning you come and break it. This is what you do. But then what happens is people go there, they set the fire and they're off for the night. Early morning they come here, you see the fire has spread all over that area and basically it's been burning all the undergrowth. And if you look at a slope like that, if you start tampering with all that undergrowth, is basically you are exposing the surface to the elements, whether it's rain or whether it is sun. And when it starts to happen, the earth becomes very brittle, it begins to lose, and it becomes very powdery. And what happens next is some of the trees start to die. And trees, basically, they do the anchoring of the soil. You destroy the trees, the roots die, there is nothing to hold the root. And this is such a slope. So there were lots of this combination of several things. That's what has been going on. And it's not for now, it's been going on for 10-15 years. So I think when that heavy rain came, the downpour for a few days together, I think it basically everything came down in one go. That's why it slid. That's why you saw so many meters of mud coming down from that hill, because the whole structure, the whole topography of that area was compromised by humans. It's very easy to simply classify it as a natural disaster. That's wrong, because we are basically trying to deny responsibility, the human responsibility. It's possible that partly there was a natural disaster, but definitely we've been asking for it. We've been tampering with that place for too long. And for us, coincidentally, 10 days before the disaster, every year we do a football tournament, bring in all the village, we call them the mountain communities, and we have a football gala. Every year we have a theme. And this year's theme was mudslide, landslide, and forest degradation. This is what we talked about. So that means 8 communities played football against each other, and every evening at SS Camp football field, we showed this very hill and told them, this is a danger. And we talked about it. And after 10 days, everything collapsed. So it's not something, I was not surprised when this happened, because we've been telling them it's a matter of time. We only hope that we'll wake up from this. There's a big alarm bell, and I think maybe we'll learn from this and probably get our act together.
We're not hearing that. We're not hearing that it's partly man-made in regards to what's happening. We're hearing about natural disasters. We're hearing about what's happening around the world. We know what happened in Puerto Rico. We know what happened in the U.S. Virgin Islands. We know what happened in Bangladesh and those places. But no one is really saying that man is contributing to some of these tragedies that's taken the lives of what's amounting to thousands of people. And you're saying this, and in all honesty, is one of the first time that I'm hearing this. So I find that really, really interesting. And why? Why do you think, in regards to all the news that's covering all these disasters year after year, why are we not hearing that?
I mean, we live in an era with people like Donald Trump, right, ruling a big nation like United States. They don't even give a damn or believe in climate change. So just imagine in a poor country like this, that is supposed to be first world. We are like down there. How do you explain to people? So people are, very easy colors. People think that, anything like this magnitude, just leave it. It's God sent, but people don't want to accept. We don't want to take responsibility for our actions. These are caused by us. If we don't really look within ourselves and think, whether we have tampered with this nature for too long and that's what it is striking back, I think we're going to have more. I won't be surprised at all.
The chimpanzees, what's their population? How are they being affected? Those that are wild. We know that those that are here are secured and you're taking care of them. But what is the population that exists outside of the sanctuary? And how are they being affected by the yearly taking away of hectares of land, by burning it for charcoal, or by the deforestation that's happening, or the mining, that's going on?
When you come to Tacugama as a sanctuary, what you see is we are attending to the symptom to the problem. We got 80 odd chimps here. These are all rescues. When we intercept an animal dealer or someone for entertainment, or maybe a hunter, sometimes they kill the bigger animals like the father, mother of a chimp group, but the baby is so small, it hasn't got much meat value and it looks so cute, so they will take you to some town and try to sell it. So all the chimps here are either confiscated or rescued from people. Now, Tacugama has been running for 24 years. I would say the first 10 years of Tacugama has been mainly focused on setting up this place, so we find a safe haven for the rescued animals. But then we realized we are still sitting here receiving chimps. That means the problem still continuing in the bush, where all this conflict between people and chimps and all this land degradation going on, habitat destruction, animals are being pushed into corners, so it's easy to hunt them, plus also it's a very complex system, the chimps. It's not easy when you have a group of chimps living here, and you cannot expect these chimps can simply move into another forest. It's not possible. They're very territorial. So sometimes by pushing them, they even get killed by their own kind. Other chimps, they become very territorial. They will not allow another group of chimps to come into their territory. So it's a very complex issue that is going on. So what we have done is 10 years ago we did a national survey and census of the whole country. So we kind of divided the whole country into 9 square kilometer grids, and we spent a month on each grid. And we studied for 2 years, looking at the habitat, counting nests, and work out a way of determining how many chimps are left in the wild.
Mhm.
And our data showed that we have probably about 6,000 chimpanzees left in the wild. And we also realized out of the 6,000, half of them are living outside protected areas. That means they have learned to adapt and live in community forest, in farmlands, around there, palm forest, palm tree forest. So we realized that this is something very interesting, how they are adapting, how they are living. So we started a program 10, 12 years ago, our outreach program, whereby we work with these communities, look at alternatives for them, so in return, we are able to protect what is around them. And we also try to teach the people how they can coexist with wildlife in a way. And people are hungry. Why they are going to the bush? Simply because they are looking to feed their children. So we provide alternatives to them so that in return they leave the forest. So we are now working with about 44 communities across Sierra Leone. We are under the National Protected Area Authority. That means automatically we are working in the 4 national parks and also the 16 protected areas across the country. We collaborate, we exchange information. So it's more than what you see here. Okay. What you see at Tacugama is just just an orphanage, but we have also made it a point. There's a lot more to it, so we link up, and we have also added another component in the last 7-8 years, that's the ecotourism component, because we need to sustain our operation. So at the moment, I think if you go to like TripAdvisor, we are the chosen or #1 destination for this country. So we're trying to create other things around Tacugama, which every sector can value. So like now, if there is something happening with tourism, we are part of that.
Okay.
If you talk about water, we are part of that because we are protecting one of the major catchments here. And we are also looking at and mapping other water sources around the peninsula. And we also, part of our outreach activities also to give clean water to communities. So there's lots of things we are doing around that. We are also like a one-stop place in terms of biodiversity research. We are also doing now environmental impact assessment for other organizations.
Okay,
yes, this is again to show, because we have developed a lot of skill. Sometimes it's not a matter of you're only doing research for yourself, because you need to sustain this place. So we also sometimes sell our knowledge to other people, so that through that we can take that money and put it back into conservation. So we do several other things, and that is how we keep getting this place. It's a very poor country. We try our best with little means we have. We can do a lot more with more help, whether it's individual organizations join us in our drive to save this place and the species, the chimpanzees. Chimpanzees is a flagship species. We are here for chimpanzees, but when you save chimpanzees, you save everything around it. You save the chimpanzee, you save the forest, you save other animals, you save our catchments, because the water is coming from the catchments. The water comes from the forest. So even when we go to a village level, we start with water. We tell the people, where is this water you are drinking or washing, where is it coming from? They will always show it to you. They will show the hill where, and what do you have there? They will tell you it's a forest. I said, yes, so you know you need the forest to have that water here. Don't take it for granted. It's not going to keep coming if you keep destroying up there. So that is how we engage with people. So we are doing a lot more in terms of sensitization. We work with about 26 schools now across the country. We also work with many communities doing sensitization work. We are also quite vocal in the media. We do regular radio programs, television shows. Yeah, I mean, it's a lot. So, I mean, if you want to connect more, you go to www.tacugama.com. You can follow us on Instagram and Facebook. Needs are many, as I said. I mean, connect with us. You will feel that you helped an organization that has a track record of delivery at the highest level.